Hi, and welcome to another section. We are talking about outdoor animals. Like, this is probably one of my favorite topics because I love getting outside and seeing all the crazy critters that are outside. But just remember to keep things in mind. It does matter when you come out and what season it is and what time of day it is, because the seasons can bring up new critters or have animals hiding. Just like during the winter, we like to hide in our house when during the winter time. So that's just what animals do. They hibernate during the winter. Well, some of them do. But in Florida, we're in a weird situation where animals are out most of the time. However, they still like to cozy up and not be outside when it's really cold, especially it's what's called the herps. So reptiles and amphibians, they like to not be outside when it's below 60 or 70 degrees. They like to be nice and warm, and they warm up by the sun. And so you have to keep that in mind when you're looking for animals. The best time to do it is basically any time. During the daytime, it's called diurnal, which is at the time when the animals come out during the day. Then there's two other terms called crepuscular. Crepuscular is when dawn and dusk, so in the twilight hours. So some animals like to be in that time. That's probably one of the best times to do any type of animal watching, is because you have the daytime animals starting to go to bed, and then you have the nighttime animals coming out. And the final term is nocturnal, which is nighttime animals. So they like to come out at nighttime, and it's very hard to see things at nighttime. Well, at least it is with us, because we don't have the senses that it requires to see at nighttime. But animals at nighttime do. They're able to see better than we do. They're able to pick up and use the light that is around. They're also able to use their ears a lot better and to sense vibrations and other things. So they're made for the nighttime. And the animals of the night, like the owl, are very good at it. Animals are all around us, and it's just a matter of looking at the various habitats that are around us. Like, there's a lake, or not a lake, a pond over there, and we're going to go over there to it and go check out the rest of this property. And you just have to be aware of what's around you. Birds let you know what's around you by leaving evidences, such as like tracks, or maybe they leave a seed down on the ground that they've eaten. Or you'll hear them. You'll hear all the chirps and songs and crazy things that they do. They may fly around and let you know that they're there, or say that you're in my territory and go away, please. So just keep in mind, so look for holes in the ground, look for holes in trees, look for different things that don't look normal. And for a new person outside, this can be hard. It's like, okay, what is considered not normal? It's like, I've never been out here, so I don't know what I'm going to find. But yeah, just keep in mind the daytime and seasons. Seasonally, you'll have different critters coming out. The best time is probably the spring or the summer times. But it's on our site, we have observational sheets for you to download and for you to look at and keep track of critters that are around you. And we want you to observe your animals on your property. We want you to write down, okay, well, I saw a cardinal on blah 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 doing this or that or the other. I saw a possum coming to eat our cat food that we accidentally left out. So please do this. There's also what's called citizen science, which is basically you get to be a scientist or help them out. Florida Fish and Wildlife has a program called Citizen Science, and they like you to report their sightings, like of alligators, of bald eagles, of sea turtles and tortoises and all kinds of other critters. and it is in our Google site, which you can look at any time. There's other citizen science things like looking at Google Earth maps and finding different things that they want you to find. There's all kinds of programs, so just get out there and look. Instead of wasting your time on video games or on the TV, use that time more effectively and help out scientists, because you never know what you're going to find. And download apps such as iNaturalist and other things, and you can do a BioBlitz anytime you want, and BioBlitz is basically just knowing what's here. So let's go have fun and take a look at what's around on our property. Hi, we're going to stop and look at this one little thing, but this is something that an animal has dug up. You notice the long, weird-looking cylinders. An animal that is in the ground has done this. This is animal evidence that we can find, and this could be a worm, or it could be some other critter that has gone in the ground. But this is stuff that we look for when we want to find animals. This is what they leave behind in order for us to know, okay, well that's I don't know. I don't know what this is from, but it's another critter that we find in the ground. But all animals are different sizes. They're not just one size. We have ants and insects that make up the predominant amount of critters that are out here. We do have quite a few mammal species in Florida, and then we have birds, and we have herps, or our amphibians and reptiles and other critters. But yeah, just look around and see what you can find. And we're on our way to the water that's right ahead of us. This is one place that animals love to be in. This is a water body, and you can see all the different ripples, and animals let you know that they're there. What would be even cooler, and I would recommend it especially if it were more in the summer and hotter, is to go in here and see what you can find. Just watch out. Make sure that you're not stepping on a snake or something else that may be hiding in there. But there's all kinds of different critters, like snakes and frogs and turtles and fish and salamanders. But this is a great area that animals love to be in. Just like us, we all need water to drink and to live in. Water makes up the main ingredient in our inside bodies. We're made up of about 73% water. This is a great place to find all kinds of different critters, and you look for tracks and traces along the river's edge. It looks like we have some other critters right here. It's like a critter has come in and made some movement. Sometimes you'll find pigs. Pigs like to rut like this a lot. But an animal has definitely come and rutted. You can see that all the ground is all dug up around it. So this is letting us know that an animal has been here. You may find a track. I've typically have seen deer. I've seen raccoon. But you never know what you'll find. And it's always good to keep an eye on water bodies because it will let you know what's there. And if you have a good guide, you can take the guide and find out who made that track. But you can hear all the birds are making themselves known around me. But this is a wetland area, and we have tupelo and cypress that are typical water plants that will be in water. There's a lot of plants that can't be in water and will die if they're in water too long. But we are right by Highway 90, and that's why it's a little loud. But this is our wet area, and we have all kinds of critters. We have red-winged blackbirds that will fly through. But this is a good place to find who knows what. And we're going to continue on our journey and go to other habitats that are found in and around the Jefferson County Extension. So come join me. This is another view from the same pond. We're just looking for critters and seeing what we can find. I'm seeing water movement, but that's about it. If there's trash in your water areas, get rid of it. Just like us, we don't like to be in places where there's trash. Birds and other things that rely on water bodies don't really care for trash all in it. But you can hear birds chirping. But I don't see any other animal evidence around us. We're going to continue and see what else we can find today. Or hear, or see, or who knows what. So come join me. We're now in another type of habitat. If you notice, there's a field on one side and a forest on the other. This is what's called an edge habitat. And if you think about it, animals don't want to be completely in a place where they're not protected. So they can, on this edge habitat, what they can do is if there's a worm or something out in the field, they can go grab that worm and then go back to cover. Just think about it. I mean, if you were a small, tiny bird, you wouldn't want to face bobcats and coyotes and all these other critters that may potentially make you their dinner. So you would always be on alert and always look for cover. So you're going to use this edge habitat that is on both sides of the trail in order to do your thing. So if an animal came along, they could escape to this cover. That is bamboo ahead of me. So this is a great area to find birds and to watch. But in order to find wildlife, I mean, you have to be quiet and stealthy. You can't just go out and be loud and obnoxious. You're not going to see very much. The louder you are and the more noises you make, the less likely you are to find any animal. And the quieter you are, and the more that you spend time outdoors, you're going to see and experience so much more. And animals will start to come back. It takes a little while for birds and everything to trust you again. And if you just sit for a little while, you may notice that critters are starting to appear all around you. So we're going to take a trip down this trail and to this creek up ahead and see what we can get. Another great place to find salamanders and that type of thing. You notice how wet that area is below me? Salamanders love to be under sticks in areas like this. This is also where we can find all kinds of tracks. If you find places like this, it's always good to keep an eye on because you never know the track. And the fresher and the cleaner the track is, that means that the animal has been there very recently. If it's an old track and all the sand is filling in the track, then that animal has not been there in the last few days. And if you find a new track and it was raining yesterday, then you know that track is pretty fresh and new. So just keep this in mind as you look at your property. Do be careful as to where you step and where you go. There's all kinds of critters in here, and they will warn you if you allow them to. Snakes don't just outright come out and bite you. They will warn you before they bite normally. So, but there's all kinds of hiding places, and there's all, like in this log right here, there's a lizard right there on top of it. There's two brown animals. There's one on the side and one on the, you can see his head right there by that white, I think it's artist fungus, and then there's another one on the top of it. And these are called brown animals. Places like this are great for finding all kinds of critters. Just be careful. And you can use sticks and other things in order to move logs or take a better view. But I'm sure there's all kinds of critters in these logs. Just think of this as a big hotel or a big home for them. I mean, if you if you were that small, just think of all the places you would go and you would be. So all kinds of places to find. Just take your time and enjoy the surroundings. Ahead of me is another place that you may find critters. This is a river, or not river, a creek. But it's a great place to find things alongside of it or in it. If we look in these different washes and whatever, we may find all kinds of critters. But also, I want a word of warning. Whenever you're in places like this, just make sure that you don't run into poison ivy. So leaves of 3. So that right there, and I'm zooming in on. If you notice how it has 3 leaves, that would be your poison ivy. That will make you itch, and if you're really allergic to it, it could put you in the hospital. And also make sure that you be careful of ticks when you're out here, as ticks are here, and they will potentially get on you. All you got to do is just pull them off with tweezers or whatever as soon as you get home. If you find them quick enough and they're crawling on you, they're easy to pick right off. But just a word of warning. But we're going to continue. There's a butterfly right there. Okay, we're at another area. You can see that this was taken down. This is what happens when you have land development. The habitat loss in the US is staggering. We replace places like this with a lawn. Lawns, by the way, are not native. If you have grass in your yard, it's not really native to the area. We have kind of renovated or taken over our nature places, and we think we know better than nature does, or who created nature, but we don't. And we are realizing the impact that we're having now. Everything around us relies on trees and places that are open, and the more places we can supply for our friends, our furry and feathered friends, the better. They have a right to be here, and we have kind of gotten rid of all of them. They're supposed to be here. They were created before we were, and so but yeah, I mean, that's why I'm trying to do this video, is to encourage you all to live differently with your environment. Create places on your own area. If you have a lot of land, allow it to grow naturally. You don't need a big yard. Just think of how you can allow it to grow back, and you can encourage different things by taking out invasives or taking out certain plants and putting in more native trees and shrubs in order to get all kinds of birds and other things to show up. Otherwise, places will look more like this, and then we'll have a huge shopping mall and all these other things that we don't really need. I don't think we need a shopping mall in every other corner, or gas station or whatever. I would much rather have forests and places to explore rather than strip malls and everywhere else. So, but there's all kinds of things we can find in here. So I don't know if you can see through the water, but there are all kinds of tadpoles that are swimming in the water. And these are all hiding. This area makes a great place for frogs. This water is not normal, and so there are a lot of things that can use this area to reproduce and to have little froggies. And also remember, well, you may not know, but salamanders also start out as a tadpole. And they are very cool critters, and this would be a perfect area for them as well. And other critters like to use this place, such as like beaver and muskrat, and so you never know what you'll find. Just be aware of your surroundings when you're out, and just take a look around. We're at another section of creek. We're upstream from the other section that I did, but these are great places for you to find critters. There's all kinds of critters that make this place home, such as salamanders, fish, frog. There's all kinds of insects. There are snakes, but you don't need to freak out with snakes. They have a rightful place here as well. They're pretty cool, and a lot of them can swim. But you'll find all kinds of critters if you go creeking right here and if you have a creek on your property, just take a dip and just watch your step, and you may find crayfish in there. You never know. But yeah, this is a great place, and it's a great place to be on a nice warm day. But you never know what you'll find under a rock or under a stick or in the forest. And if you enjoy places like this, I could sit here and listen to the birds and just appreciate what's around me as we go strolling down this trail and onward to another site. But you have to appreciate what's around you, and you never know what you'll find. You may be very surprised at what you'll find on your property, or anywhere for that matter. Just gotta get out there and look. Alrighty, here's another place where you'll find critters. You can see over there that we have cattails. They're very easy to spot because they have a big grassy tall blade, and then they have those funky tops to them that look like big corn dogs a lot of the time. I guess that's a great way to describe them. But this is a great area for frogs, and a lot of times when you're coming up on a lake, you'll hear this beep, and they'll jump in, sploosh into the water. So you may hear that, like that. That would be a frog. But they're all in here. We may have some, there may be some, it looks like toads or frogs underwater right there. I'm seeing some kind of animal. But yeah, this is maybe a good fishing hole. Just remember that you want wetland plants growing around your water body, like over there. The healthier the body of water is, so the more plants around it, the better. I would actually have a 5-foot buffer from the water's edge and 5 feet from that point, and not mow it at all. You could have access points to the lake, but otherwise I would have it natural. Because the wetlands, what they do is they filter out all the nastiness, and they get rid of it. They also provide habitat for all these frogs and different critters that call this home. And there's all kinds of different plants in here, from duckweed to I don't know what that one is growing up from the bottom. I mean, there's all kinds of milfoils and pondweeds and other things. But if you keep an eye on these types of places, you'll see, especially this time of year, you'll see all kinds of frogs that will go from like tadpoles, and they'll grow bigger tadpoles, and they'll start growing legs and getting rid of their tails, and then they jump out of the water. So it's a pretty cool process, and but yeah, it's fun to watch. And also with the wetlands, what they do is not only do they provide a wetland habitat home, but they also will filter out all the nasty fertilizers that you put on your yard and lawn. If you allow all this stuff to get into that pond, you'll almost always have an outbreak of algae, like over there. Nitrogen and phosphorus and all these are considered excessive nutrients, and the more that you have in a water body, the more the algae will go crazy. And wetlands help by basically buffering that, and doesn't allow all that nutrient buildup to get into the water body, and so you have a better, healthier water. And what the algae does is it makes the oxygen in the water disappear. It depletes the body of water of all oxygen, which is not something you want, and then it kills everything in your pond. So yeah. But we're just taking a look around. You'll also find all kinds of tracks. This is a great place to find tracks of all kinds. Deer are very common here. You'll also find raccoon. You can see all kinds of toads and things going crazy in this water. But that is a look at our property, and I thank you all for joining me. Oh, there's a snake. There's a snake! Yay, snake! Hopefully you can see that. But that is a red, what is it? It's like a red mud snake, I think. But that was pretty cool. So you'll find all kinds of things, and just like that snake, they will go the opposite way very quickly. And there's also a track below me. But yes, there's all kinds of things that are in this water, and they all serve a purpose, including the snake, which you can obviously tell that snake wants nothing to do with us. Snakes are not out to get you. So yeah, well, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again on our next video. And there's a hole, by the way. That may be an armadillo hole. But thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.